Welcome to the post-game wrap-up show here on PoconoSnow.org after a huge Pocono Snow win, 3-0 tonight over Junior Lone Star FC. I'm Matt Catrillo. Alongside me is Dan Hilton. And Dan, probably the biggest win this season for the Pocono Snow so far this season as they get a 3-0 win over Junior Lone Star, improved to 2-1 on the year, now in a second-place tie with Lone Star at 6 points on the year, 1 point behind Binghamton for first place in the Keystone Division. And first, let's start with the offense first, because obviously, Dan, scoring has been an Achilles heel of this team pretty much since day one of this franchise, and now the Snow have scored 5 goals in the first 3 games, with the majority of them coming here tonight.
Well, Matt, looking at a 3-0 win, to go back to what you first said, not only is this one of the biggest victories this season, obviously a 3-0 win, but overall, since the franchise was reestablished in 2008, this is one of the biggest wins in franchise history, honestly. Junior Lone Star is a team that this team in years past have had a hot-blooded rivalry with, where a lot of back and forth, a lot of physical play, and for the offense especially, as we target that, these are more physical, bigger players that the Snow are able to put out on the field each and every week. And Roshane Ellison, coming back from his very first game this season after missing the first 2 through injury, along with some of the other players up top, who, again, Shastri Spencer, who had that feed on the Connor Phillips goal, the third of the game. For those kind of players to be able to hold up the ball and to dictate the pace of the game, that's very important for the Snow's offense and for the eventual product, which, even though the Snow did not win the shots on goal battle or the shots battle in general, what they were able to do as far as that final scoreline, that's what matters, that's what gets you the points, and they can go away from this Eiler Martin Stadium with a win.
And even if the Snow did score in years past, it always came off the foot of Roshane Ellison, and he had the second goal of the night at the 51st minute, his first goal this season. First goal was scored by O'Shane Rose just 5 minutes in off a great feed off the first corner of the game from Anthony Boucard on a corner, and then you had the third goal by Connor Phillips late in the 75th minute on a great feed from Shastri Spencer, who had a good shot on goal earlier to start off the game. So those are the 3 goals scored by the Snow.
Well, again, we talked about it last week, Matt, and again, everything started with defense. We even spoke to, head coach Jerry Sheska. It starts with the defense tonight, and it kind of moved up from there. Though in the first half, the defense seemed to be playing a higher line. Those junior forwards like to shift along the center backs and try to find an open look. They, in terms of the Pocono Snow defense, weren't getting the offsides calls. But what they did is able to easily facilitate to the midfield, from the midfield up to the forwards, and just level by level, the Snow defense to offense tonight just seemed to have a solid spine right down the middle, a solid foundation. David Sullivan as well, fantastic in net in the first half, coming in relief for him, Jacob Watwood in the second half. Both of them were very strong in the air, knew when to catch the ball, knew when to punch the ball out, communicated with their defense. For me, believe it or not, my man of the match in a 3-0 win is actually going to be one of the defenders. The right back who I mentioned had an assist on the first goal, Bernard Boucard, simply because every time down that left wing, the junior forwards were unable to get much traction there. They had to force everything over to the right side. And what that did is just creating a logjam on the right side. Easily was the defensive midfield in the form of Jordan Ellison this evening able to come over for the double team and stop most of the attack in the second half, simply because of the adjustments that were made by Brendan Boucard on the right side in the first half.
Yeah, Brendan Boucard, he's been all over the field to start the season, and he's been really a big help to the back line, who, again, had a lot of close calls, especially David Sullivan in net, but he made a lot of great saves to start off, 7 total for him before he got injured late in the first half in what was a really big physical play, more or less in the first half, but some in the second half, as you saw, a total of 8 cards given out, 4 for each team, all yellow for the Snow, 3 yellow and 1 red given to Junior Lone Star, and that 1 red came when David Sullivan got hurt trying to go out for a ball. They were trying to shield him off for Junior Lone Star, and in our interview with Jerry Sheska, which you can check out here on PoconoSnow.org, it looks like he might have a broken hand, but we'll see what happens as we go through and get ready for the game on Saturday against the Sonic.
Well, 2 of the Achilles heels for this team, in years past was not only injuries, which, again, with so many things up in the air, you don't know if that's going to rear its ugly head again. But again, a good sign from Roshane Ellison to come back from injury and to do so well in his first game back. But the other one would be when this team gets down and is down on itself, it just seems to, again, make matters worse. But tonight we saw that it was a physical play, a lot of cards where Junior Lone Star FC was trying to take those midfielders especially out of the game, trying to throw them off. Yet in the second half of action, you score 2 goals, you put away your opponent, benefit of the doubt, they get a red card, and again, then you're just able to play calm, cool, collected defensive soccer, keep your shape defensively. That's what Pocono Snow did tonight, where in years past that might not have been the result. But again, an organized bunch, a bunch of first-year players, and 3 games in, clearly this is a squad that is learning to play together, and they have earned the second-place spot in the conference.
And as Coach Sheska told us after the game, Dan, this team adjusted to the physical play, and you can see that again here on PoconoSnow.org. So overall, what were your thoughts of how the Snow were able to adjust and deal with the physical play that Lone Star brought? Because there were a couple of times where you saw we maybe saw some possible big brawls happen, but luckily everybody was able to keep their cool.
Well, the Pocono Snow is now 2-0 at home, and 0-1 on road, of course, losing to Clarkstown last Wednesday, a week from today. But 2-0 at home just means they went out on their home field and they took care of business. It's exactly what they did against an opponent who they knew were going to play physical. They knew were going to be strong in the air. They knew they were going to be fast on the wings. They were going to try to give trouble to that defense, but the defense stuck in, dug their heels in, did not concede the opening goal. They got the opening goal instead just 6 minutes in, and it was all Pocono Snow from there in the first half. Goalies, including David Sullivan and Jacob Gottwald, were solid in the air. They were solid doing exactly what they had to do, communicating. And though there were a number of yellow cards as well for the Pocono Snow, things never got out of hand. They kept their composure, and so they got the 3-0 victory on what was, for me at least, in years past, again, might have been plays that would have been halted on the wings, but instead, they were good to get the corners, and they were solid in the air. They were on stop-dead plays in the form of the Pocono Snow, and again, they earned the victory tonight. They've got a big game against LVU Sonic this coming Saturday on the road. However, the one note, they do not play the Sonic again at home. So again, as long as you take care of business at home, get the wins, get those 3 important, very big points, you can see the postseason. Obviously, plenty of soccer left to play, but again, if you can continue to take care of business like they have in the early going in this season, the Pocono Snow could have a very successful year.
And especially in this division, Dan, it's so important to win your games, especially at home, and for the Snow to start 2-0 on the year, really impressive. And even when you talk about on the road, this was a team that had a 1-0 lead against Clarkstown in the second half before they faltered late in the second half, and they had the weird time when the lights went out and they kind of ran out of time.
Well, there was a penalty kick. It was a penalty kick that Clarkstown was able to tie it up, and then just 2 minutes later they score again. Lights go out. No one can recover. 20-minute delay just to play the last 3 minutes. So again, that one's an asterisk for the Pocono Snow as far as mentally conceding 2 goals late in a contest. But that's going to be a big challenge against LVU Sonic. That's a quality team who's going to give them 90 hard minutes of soccer that the Pocono Snow are going to have to prepare for.
And at least from that point, from when they gave up the penalty kick against Clarkstown, they were at least able to hold the lead for that point. So that, obviously we know this team can play on the road, but then this time as they face Sonic on Saturday, they're just going to have to finish the job. And looks like if they keep this up with the offense, and especially the way it's been today, they will have a chance to win this game on Saturday.
Again, we could see some more players instituted, possibly in the starting lineup, possibly to the bench. So chemistry is going to continue to be a question throughout the next few games at least, as, again, Roshane Ellison continues to work his way back from injury, and players continue to learn how to play together, continue up their chemistry. But for the Pocono Snow, chemistry-wise so far, they are doing just as good as their opponent, or better as far as just picking up a soccer ball and learning how to play together. And if they can continue to do that, as we've mentioned time and time again, taking a 3-0 win, you have the momentum. And LVU Sonic, if you had to pick a game at the beginning of the year that you'd want this kind of momentum in, that would be the game on the road that you want to have one of your best victories in franchise history.
So a huge win for the Pocono Snow here tonight as they go to 2-1 on the year, 2-0 here at home at Eiler Modern Stadium on the campus of East Stroudsburg University. A 3-0 victory tonight against the junior Lone Star FC. Next game, the big one, against the LVU Sonic on Saturday at 7 o'clock before they're back here at Eiler Martin Stadium. Next Wednesday, June 4th at 7 p.m. when the Bucksmont Torch come to town. And, of course, the Snow will have a chance to go 3-0 at home. Pretty good chance of doing that since they've had a lot of great success against Bucksmont. But first, they got the Sonic coming up on Saturday, and hopefully we'll be talking about a 2-game win streak the next time that we're talking here, myself and Dan Hill. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Post-Game Show. Be sure to check this out, as well as our interview after tonight's big win against Junior Lone Star with head coach Jerry Sheska, as well as one of the goal scorers tonight, Roshane Ellison. That's also here on PoconoSnow.org. For Dan Hillen, Spike Rogan, our videographer, and the rest of us here at Eiler Martin Stadium on the campus of East Stroudsburg University, I'm Matt Catrillo. Have a great night, Snow fans.